and as a business owner, I think just being able to say, oh, that didn't work for us, let's move on to the next thing is a very important part of building your brand too.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Go Rogue Podcast. My name is Brian Fitton, and this is the podcast for marketers, small business owners who want to learn how to give value back to their audience, but also build a brand. And so, actually, one of those topics we're going to be talking about today, which is building a brand around grassroots efforts, getting involved in the community, giving back, but also able to kind of build yourself as somebody who gives more than they take. And so, I think in this world, the day and age, being authentic is so important, and so especially for businesses, everybody's kind of looking for you to be doing a PR stunt or something like that, but to be able to be authentic and give without asking is huge. And so I'm very, very excited to have some co-hosts on with me today to talk about this. So hey, let's bring them on. So what's up, Amy? How's it going?
Oh, hey everyone. Oh, it's going great. It's I'm ready for sunshine, and if that could just start occurring soon,
yes.
That would be amazing.
Oh, yeah. That's I'm right there with you. We get some sunshine, and then it's like snow, and then it's a little bit of sunshine. And anyway, we also have Miss Lauren Lewis on. Say what's up, Lauren.
What's up? I'm glad to be here.
Lauren's just bringing the sunshine today with those awesome headphones. As always, if you're not watching, you have to tune in. She's so tired of me bringing this up, but you have to tune in to see these amazing. So you make sure you go.
Just get your own, Brian.
I have boring black ones, and Lauren's bringing the sunshine with her gold. Just gold, everything. It's amazing. It's amazing. Anyway, I'm so sorry, Lauren. I got to stop. Okay, next recording, we will not do that. I will not bring it up. I promise. Anyway, so I'm so happy that you guys are here. So a little bit about Amy. She is a marketing coordinator for PDAO, which is Pediatric Dental Associates and Orthodontics. Bringing the orthodontics right in at the end there.
Good job.
Yeah, and so the reason we wanted to talk with Amy today about this, because they do a phenomenal job of getting involved in the community, giving back in a way that they're not asking for anything in return other than just like, hey, we're here. So, and which is honestly, it's great in that aspect too, because they do a lot through Facebook, through giveaways, that type of stuff, but they do a really great job of getting into events that their target audience is already at or involved in. So, Amy's done a great job of that, and so I wanted to bring her on and just talk through a little bit about that. But then also with Lauren, she's involved with a couple different clients that they really, especially the brick and mortar businesses that are really involved in making sure that they're out there in the community, their brand is being shown in good ways, not just selling. And so anyway, like I said, I'm really excited to talk about this because I think honestly it's near and dear to my heart. It's very, very important to give back, especially with the blessings that we've been given. Whether that be your family or your business, you want to make sure that you're obviously giving back because it returns tenfold almost every single time. So anyway, so I want to kind of jump into some of this stuff, and we can kind of talk through what PDAO is doing. Just some things that I've been involved in, just knowing you, Amy, because I have toddlers, and so obviously we are your target market. We have a lot of teeth in our house, and so there's... We're hoping to keep those teeth. Oh man, that's just you could go down a really strange path with that. But so we're involved obviously in making sure our children are brushing their teeth. And if you haven't watched some of Facebook lives from Amy, you have to bring your child in at 1 year old. 1 year old. Yeah.
Very good.
See, yeah, exactly. I'm trying to pay attention, not be a terrible father. But it is one of those things too that you want to make sure that you're, like I said, like you guys are doing a great job of being involved in the community. So one event I can think of is the Halloween involvement that you guys did. I think it was the Macaroni Kids, but it was really one of the first events that we went to as a family because we have so many toddlers that it's hard to get them all corralled and get them to somewhere. But it was nice because I kind of knew what to expect, but then also you guys did a great job of giving away some cool stuff that's very helpful. But anyway, sorry, I don't want to spoil it. You can kind of obviously give your 2 cents. So what was it? What did it look like for you guys as a business to say, hey, we want to get involved with this event, but then also not just, hey, we're here with a table and here's some pamphlets, but you really put some thought into it. So what were kind of some of the things that you did, Amy, to bring that value to your customers?
Sure. So, I mean, for that particular event, we kind of have become known a little bit, and I'm not really sure how this actually started, but a couple years ago, I guess in the last 4 or 5 years ago, we started doing an event called the Dream Big Gala for the Children's Safety Center. And at that event, we decided that it would just kind of be funny to have this big, gigantic candy bar for adults and give away all this candy, knowing that we were the dentist, and we just thought it'd be really funny. So we just got a whole bunch of bulk candy together, threw this big, gigantic candy bar together, and the adults just loved it. And from then, I have been contacted by several schools. The gym backs from the University of Arkansas have contacted us to set some of these things up, and they want to know if we'll come and set up our candy bar. So that idea stemmed from that event, but the actual Macaroni Kids event is every year, and I don't remember how many years they've done it. We've participated in their trunk or treat event, which is like a event that they've always done, usually outside in the parking lot of our best ballpark. But for this particular event, they decided they were going to have it inside, and they were going to just make it bigger, and people, businesses could sign on and be able to rent out the suites and stuff like that. So you could either, depending on your level of sponsorship, and there were small ones up to big ones, you could give out. They wanted you to give out candy for sure, but you could give out pamphlets, give out whatever product you wanted to do. Like you said, your kids went, so each child got like a bag and like all kinds of stuff. It was crazy, and the place was crazy. Crawling with kids, crawling with moms and dads, crawling with our ideal customer. I mean, that's what we wanted to see. So we just built a huge candy bar with inside one of the suites in the stadium. But what we always try to do at any point in time when we have these candy bars is also give them toothbrushes, toothpaste, and floss. And all of our signage is really funny and says, like, don't forget to brush, and like, don't forget your toothpaste.
Yeah.
And, like throughout the whole thing, like, we want candy, but we also want our teeth, like really funny, like just sayings to kind of, we're also promoting the educational side that candy and sugar is okay. But, you also need the tools to go with that. We also provided like a photo booth for families for that. Had a big, huge balloon arch that we had made for that, which was, again, we partnered with a local business. There's a girl who started a balloon business here in Northwest Arkansas. So I strive to try to always use local companies when I'm doing things like that. But yeah, it went really well, and it was fun, and we got a lot of good feedback from it. We gave away like cups and toothbrushes with little fangs tied to the side of them for Halloween. So, and it was really fun, but it was, being able to be in the community, seeing those kids and their families, and being there and providing an event. I don't think it was necessarily free for everyone. I think there was like a small cost per child or something. But it was a low cost, event that families could come to and have a good time, and not necessarily have to be out trick-or-treating if they didn't want to on Halloween or whatever. Their trick-or-treating was handled, the Friday before.
Yeah.
And, maybe I stocked up the mom's candy stash.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know
Give it
exactly
back
what
away.
to do, but
Yeah, absolutely.
we know our target audience, and we know moms like candy. So that's another reason why we did it. So, and that was a really fun event. And we put a lot of effort into it to make it fun, but we also know that little bit of extra effort on our part, paid off in big ways on the other side of it. So that was important for us.
It's true. Yeah, Amy. So I think that is fantastic. That's great information because knowing your target audience and obviously where they will be, especially around a candy event, like that was probably pretty smart. We're the dental office, but we promote candy as well, as long as you have the tools. And here are the tools too, so you'll be able to provide it in a great way. So I think that's awesome. There are a lot of, especially with small businesses, kind of. I mean, some small businesses are not even doing anything out in the community. I know that everybody wants to. So, what are some ways that you guys think of that small businesses can get? Like, what are some places they can get plugged into? Resources or community calendars maybe. What are some places that you guys can maybe think of? We'll jump with you, Lauren, here first. Oh, boom! Yeah, right out of the gate.
I know, particularly with one client I work with, they do a lot of like city chamber events and partner with them. So it gives them a lot of opportunities, not only to partner with the chamber and to host some of the events, like, come to our business and we're going to host a networking meeting and everything. You can meet other people. But then they go to grand openings of other businesses, which is super fun, and they're there to help. So I think that's awesome. But then it gives opportunities for you to partner with businesses that sometimes you don't even really see the natural connection, and you don't really always have to have one. And to do fun events together, kind of pool resources. And I think it's a great way, especially if they're an opening business. I know that one of my clients did that with a gym, and they were just like, they were helping offer, I think it was like, the first 2 weeks at the gym was free, and they did that to help
Wow.
Their patients be able to go to that gym. And I think it was a really awesome way to say welcome to the neighborhood, and that's what they wanted to do. And it says a lot for their business, and it meant a lot for that gym that was just starting.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk about that like giving back. That's huge promotion of another person's business. Like they're gonna know, especially with that, they're gonna be obviously refer people back to you if they can. I think that's fantastic. So even just getting to know the businesses around you is probably very vital and important too. But I would even say too, as somebody who is, Amy, you guys are in the a very competitive space when it comes to dentistry in general. But I know that you guys have gotten to know some of kind of your competitors as well, but then also like you just getting to know them and working with them. I know that opens up a lot of opportunities, especially the businesses I've worked in, being able to say, hey, we may not be a good fit for you, so here's somebody else that we would refer you to. That goes a long way with that customer as well. And I'd say that it's kind of not community event related, but if you're already out in the community and people are talking with you and say, hey, you may be a good fit for this person down the street, or hey, you live in such and such town, I know a great, even if it's competitor person over there that can take care of you because you're in the industry, you would know who is good and who is bad, right? And so people would obviously take that with you. But are there other places, Amy, that you can think of that people kind of get plugged in, or even that you've done with PDA? No.
Sure. I think, I would consider a lot of what was just previously discussed is like word of mouth marketing on your own. Like it's just going to travel through. I know I experienced a grand opening of a location when we opened up our Bentonville location. And you're right. The people with the chamber like showed up in droves, and, they were leaving business cards, and they were like just letting us know they were there. From that, we actually advertised in a magazine for new residents, like people who were moving here, to let them know that we were a kid's dentist. And, so we did reach out to some of those businesses and actually make contacts with that. So that I think the chamber events are really good. They're usually, most of the time, they're free or very inexpensive if you're a chamber member. I know I attend the Northwest Arkansas Business Women's Conference, or whatever it is, every year. We have had a booth there a couple of times. But again, just that networking these days, I think while social media is thriving and things like that, people still want that one-on-one connection. I'm more willing to almost talk to somebody that comes by my office as a drop-in and puts in the effort than I am somebody that's just going to send me a mass email out. Not all the time. It kind of depends on the business, but and drop-in wise, something we do, we partner with local pediatricians. So they're not necessarily our competitor, but they're a word of mouth for us. They can, if they know our name, they can't fix teeth. So, they're going to have kids that are going to come into their practice that they're going to see like this kid needs dental care, and we want them to know our name. So we've done different lunch and learns with those doctors' offices. We've shown up and, given an educational, speech or whatever about tooth decay. And, a lot of pediatricians now are applying, in-office fluoride to the kids in the office. And, we gave them a lot of samples to figure out which one they wanted to use, and that kind of helped them pick that out. We also do a lot of stuff in the school system. We have been able to, which a lot of school districts have different things, but if your business caters to children and or parents, which most people fall in that category, getting into the school system is a good way. Like, find out a way to donate a small amount of money to your local PTO program. This is a fantastic story for this, I think, is we do an in-school educational program. And so during the month of February, it's National Children's Dental Health Month. And so every January, February, March, schools are calling us trying to get on the schedule. We go into the schools, we provide kits for each child in the class. And I was at a local school just Tuesday morning, and they were having their book fair. And I walked into the book fair and wrote them a check and said, if there's any of these kids that cannot afford books, but make sure they get on this list and that they get some books. And I mean, I have the availability within my practice and within the means of my job description to be able to do that. But as a business owner, you can take control of what you want to do for that. And, we wrote a check to the PTO. We didn't want anything for it. We didn't ask for any kind of thing. And they wrote me and were like, can we please advertise this? And I was just like, we don't really want the recognition. That wasn't what it was for. But if you're trying to have some space on your Facebook page to show some community stuff, we would, we're more than happy for that. But we did let them know that that was not like our intention. So that in-school educational program turned into being able to not only provide for those 20 kids I was talking to, but, we're also going to be able to provide some literacy and education outside of that, and we have nothing to do with reading books necessarily. We're working on hopefully starting a reading initiative within our practice, but it doesn't have anything to do with that. It's just, we know with the kids, we're trying to strive to get them to do something different. So that was a way where we could put our money to good use. Any awesome. Community events, I think, if you see an advertisement for any kind of community event that you think would be within the scope, or like Lauren said, even outside of the scope, just go set up a table and, contact them and say, hey, are you taking any businesses for this? And they'll let you know, like, no, this event is for such and such, or, they'll let you know if there's a small fee or things like that. But a lot of those things, especially within the scope of our practice, they're always looking for vendors. They're always wanting people to be there. They want to fill the space and be able to provide, information for, the people that are coming to their events. So that a lot of the ways that we've been able to be at events is because I have personally reached out. It's not that somebody was emailing me and asking me to be a part of their event. It started off with me emailing them and saying, just taking the initiative to say, hey, we could provide some pens and some brochures for this event. Would you see a need for that? And then over time, over the years, it's become now we're being flooded with all of the requests, and we can't keep up with everything. We want to be everywhere, but we can't keep up with it. But it really did start with just reaching out to community providers, anybody in the area who's having some type of event, churches or schools or, any of that, reach out to them, because they want the vendors, and there may be a small cost for space sometimes. And especially if they're doing it as a fundraiser. But we just consider that as community give back. So it's a benefit on both sides.
I think that's super important, especially being able to hit on like you're giving without asking for anything. And so when you said lunch and learns, I know in the business space that has been used as almost a bait and switch type thing, where it's like, hey, we want to come in and give you lunch, but then we're going to take 45 minutes to tell you and try to sell you on what we're doing. But I think if you can exceed the expectation of like, hey, we're just going to give you lunch. Oh, really? That's it? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We just want to let you know we're here. This is a little bit of what we do, but hey, no pressure. But giving without asking, and I think that
Mhm.
that's huge, and especially in the space that you guys are in. That's obviously with the kids stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of things that I mean, especially underprivileged kids are just everywhere in every community, and so there's always an opportunity to give back in that way. So I think that's fantastic. But also, in general, just you said it too. With churches, I mean, churches are always. I mean, there's a mass amount of people, and they're loyal to whatever organization that they're at. If you can show up in their parking lot and give out stuff at an event, or they're always. I mean, the churches we're involved in, they're always doing bouncy houses and different things like that. And if anyway, you just want to say, hey, we just want to buy hot dogs for everybody or something like that, to where it's not even related to your business. That is a huge thing, and I know that those organizations appreciate that, and it only just helps build your brand in the community as somebody who's giving, more than they're taking, which is big.
Sure.
So.
And if you see, especially as a business owner, I think for me, and again, my job position allows me a little bit of flexibility in this, but as a business owner, if you see your friend on Facebook, like this happened with a mutual friend we all have, they're having a kids event, they're short this much money on, they need chips and drinks or whatever. And I mean, yes, in our practice, writing that check for $250 was not like a huge ordeal for us. And for some businesses, that will be a lot of money. But you can reach out and just say, hey, I would like to do this. Like, don't be scared to reach out and become that name in the community. And I mean, the small amount of money, like let's say you did $50. I mean, that $50 could turn into a $500 job for you. You
Yeah.
got to kind of think about those kinds of things. Now, for us, it's not always about the return on investment necessarily within ours. We're just always wanting to be the name in the community. One of our orthodontists, Dr. Jason Landers, we've had lots of talks about whether or not I'm doing my job correctly. Am I giving the value that you want? And we sat down and I was, trying to tell him, like, I can't give a really good ROI within a dental, in the dental industry. That's hard to track.
Yeah.
Brian and I have discussed that a little bit, but, Dr. Landers was just like, as long as when that mom is ready to make their orthodontic appointment, or their child is now one and they're ready to make that dental appointment, that they know our name and they're able to make an educated decision based on things that we've done out in the community, videos we've provided, education we've provided, then that's all we're asking for. It's not necessarily that we expect to check off a list. It's that it's like what you're saying, you're creating grassroots branding. You're creating that vision for people that they'll see your logo, or they'll see we have cars and things like that, or they'll see your building, they'll be like, oh, that's them. It's kind of, you want to be that, oh, that's them, person in the community. And the way to do that is to build it through your community like that. I mean, it sounds so simple, but really that's all it is just getting your name out there. And it can be as simple as brochures and pens. Like, it doesn't have to be a big candy bar. It can be I love a good pen. I mean, bring me some pens. I'm all down, but eventually that's going to stick somewhere and you're going to figure out where that is. But it does take trial and error.
Yeah.
We have things that we've done in the community that have just been like, we're not doing that again. Like, nope, that was not even, worth it. And some things just don't work. And I had to, personally, as my job position, as the marketing coordinator, I have to be okay with something didn't work.
Yeah.
And and as a business owner, I think just being able to say, oh, that didn't work for us, let's move on to the next thing is a very important part of building your brand too.
Yeah. Oh, that's huge. That's huge too, of really the trial and error of testing things out and making sure it works. If it doesn't, and don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Like, this is the event and we're going to do it the first time, we'll put all of our marketing budget into this. Like, that's just bad. Branch out a little bit. And honestly, if we talk about budgets, like, budget for just giving. Like, we're not expecting anything back on this. Like, this is part of our marketing. This is part of what we're doing for grassroots. But this is just throwaway money. Like, we just want to help somebody with no expectation with that. And I don't think it necessarily has to do with just money too, because I know that there are some businesses that offer free services, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, Lauren, haven't you dealt with some of that with some companies that you've worked with?
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually going to talk about that because if you're a service industry, like there's a lot of times you can give away what you do, and it might be more your time that you're giving away as opposed to a monetary giving. And so one client I've worked with, and they do every year. They're local. Their name's Arkansas Physical Health and Rehab, and for Christmas, they do a canned food drive, and if you bring in canned goods, you get a free adjustment, a chiropractic adjustment, and it's huge. They'll get tons of people that come in and everything, and they just donate the food, and literally, it's not like exciting. And I mean, I guess, and those are for generally their current patients, but they also do special things and just fun ways to do that in the community. They also, for any nonprofits, if you call them, they'll put together a gift basket with a free massage in there for you, since they have a massage therapist on site now. So there's just cool ways that you can be creative with your business to be able to give back, and it doesn't have to be this, giant affair that you're doing. Some businesses, even a simple way to start just building those bridges into your community. If you have a blog, asking a local business to write on your blog. Would you be a guest on my blog? And it doesn't always have to be exactly related. It can be just something like, hey, they're sharing something about within our community, and we would love to just be able to advertise that for you and just host you on our space. And a lot of times, like, people are just filled with gratitude that you would do that for them, and it just builds a great relationship.
Yeah.
So I think that's always a great space to do that.
Absolutely. Well, and there's some too that I kind of brought up something that some other places I've seen do, and especially even in the church world, but of going and partnering with local restaurants and saying, hey, we want to buy, gift cards from you, so that way, because we love your restaurant, we're right down the street, not asking necessarily for the gift cards for free, but just say, hey, we'd love to partner with you at some point, but we'd love to buy these at first, kind of that giving back to that other person, it's like, and then being able to give them away to your audience or your customers. I guarantee if you went back the next time and say, hey, we'd love to partner with you, a lot of times they're willing to give to you to help give to your audience, because it's really free advertisement for them, and it gets people in their door, because everybody knows with the gift card they're going to spend way more than what they came in for, and so that definitely helps in that aspect. And so that's ways of partnering back and forth, to obviously give to both, especially in the community, and build your brand. So Amy, did you have anything on that? I didn't know if you...
I mean, not really. The only thing I can think of is, in the past, especially like, say you're a new business and you're doing rebranding, or you're doing a grand opening or something like that. One of the things that really worked for us that was still community involvement was we did random acts of kindness for the whole month before we were opening. And we just had cute little business cards made up. It was usually me. If I was behind the person at the coffee shop or whatever, then I would buy the coffee, and I would leave the card and tell them. And all it said was, we don't expect anything in return. We just asked you to pass it on. And it barely had any information really about our office on it. It all had a little logo on it, but it was just about trying to get, out our name out into the community in Bentonville with us opening that new location. One of the things we've also done, and we've done this most recently on Valentine's Day, is we will post a gift card type thing up on we've done it on our Instagram before, in a small amount for a coffee shop. And it never dawned on me to use a local coffee shop. So I have actually reached out through Brian and Alex, actually, to a local coffee shop. And that may be, something that's kind of in the works, where I can still promote local businesses, live local, shop local, do all those things. And because no matter what, PDAO, it looks like this big conglomerate of just amazingness, but it was started by one woman.
Yeah.
And it's a local company, and it is a local business, and there is nothing like it in the United States. Like, I can almost guarantee you there's nothing like it in the United States, but it is a local business. But I think because we see so many patients, and because we have so many doctors, that's not really recognized.
Yeah.
And so the way that we can brand ourselves to being local is to continue to support our local community. And so that's one of the things that I am putting out in the, into our space or whatever, is definitely for this year, is to try to do more with local businesses, for sure.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, everybody loves some Starbucks, but definitely...
I wasn't going to say it, Brian, but you...
If somebody's
There you
listening from
go.
Starbucks on here, you need to sponsor this podcast, by the way. So,
Okay,
but
all right.
in general, like Seven Brew is so close
Oh
to
my
our
gosh.
hearts. So, yeah.
That, and I have to confess that I've never had a coffee from Seven Brew,
Oh.
but I know both of yours.
Yeah.
But, and I know that, but they had, when I had reached out to them, when we were talking before, I had mentioned that, and, she had a great plan. And because she's a local business, she can really accommodate me more on a local level than Starbucks is just like, here's your gift card thing that you can, you already know, Brian, that blew up in my face a little bit on that particular, because it accidentally went to Facebook, but whatever. But, and that's one of those things that, like at Christmas, we were going to do the one thing that didn't really come to fruition, but there's a local boutique who was willing to, if I bought so many gift cards, they were going to give us so much for free. And it wasn't about doing that. It was just, they wanted to partner, it was just about being able to create that, what I consider local love, and I think that's important for sure.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. So, goodness, so much value in this episode. I thank you guys so much for doing this. So, kind of some final thoughts around this, around businesses being able to plug in. I mean, obviously the partnerships and stuff like that, but a huge piece of that is just reaching out. I mean, putting yourself out there a little bit. Again, you give, you get. It just kind of automatically happens without even really spending any money sometimes. It's just being able to get in the community. So brand your business, give value to the people around you, and that's huge. So thank you so much, Amy. So if people wanted to get in contact with you, where can they find out more about you, or if they have questions or anything like that, tell us where they can contact you at.
Sure. You can reach me on my email is usually the easiest way to get in touch with me. It's amy@smilesarewild.com. You can also check out our Facebook page, Pediatric Dental Associates and Orthodontics. And you can find us on Instagram at Smiles Are Wild.
Smiles are wild.
Smiles are
wild and crazy.
Yes.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you, Lauren, as always, bringing the style to the podcast. We appreciate it. The next one, we will not talk about the awesome headphones that you have. Anyway.
Brian's getting gold headphones for his birthday. I'm just saying.
Just dropping little hints. Hints. All right. Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We hope you guys found a ton of value out of this as well. We took all the show notes and everything for you over at goroguex.com. So make sure that you jump over there. If you have any questions, make sure to reach out to us. And thanks. Have a great day.